oh, no, we're not going to send you there. They're just going to put you on pills. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And I don't take pills. I'm a vitamin person, but I don't do well with pills because I'm allergic to a lot of things. That they make me break out, or I don't, you know what I mean? So,
well, and it would just be.
I look for natural alternatives. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And, you know, it's your way of connecting with your intuition, right? You are intuitively knowing yourself and your body and what it needs. And that's why I feel like you going and seeing this, you know, sports medicine. And that, you know, hearing sports medicine, I kind of laugh because I thought, well, I don't see, like you had said, I don't see how they're playing football or hockey or, you know, maybe, you know, I don't know, maybe bowling or golf or, you know, but still we use our hips for all of that stuff, you know?
But doctors know more doctors, and they know other doors that can open, and that's why I said I should just go anyways.
Agreed.
My intuition is telling me to go. I think I have a strong intuition, and my intuition is telling me that I've been cooped up too long because I do have an energy, and it's killing me just to not do something.
Yes. No, 100%. Absolutely, my friend. And, you know, I'll tell you, that connection with the numbers, you know, being the 23, you know, connected to your partner, and then the 17th of April being such a significant date of having, you know, this guest coming in. I'm going to tell you this again. I've got such a lot of mother energy coming in. So has mom crossed over? Has your mom passed?
Yeah, my mom passed over. Yes, she did. Yeah.
Okay. I have a feeling your mom is here. This is her way of guiding you. This is her way of saying, and I'll tell you, there's such an approval and wanting you. It's very important I let you know that 23 being connected to your partner is your mom's approval of who you are with and loving this person and what they are doing for you. The number 17 of who is coming in to see you is going to be such a beautiful, enlightening visit that it's just going to be
she's very enlightening. She's wonderful. Yeah, she's very enlightening. I understand my mom approves of the man that I'm with, but am I with the right man? I always wonder if I'm with the right man because sometimes he drives me nuts. I've been with him 25 years, but I
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Sometimes I just don't know if he's the right.
I
gets on my nerves so bad.
Right? I think we all kind of go through that at times, right?
We go through that. I just always wondered if my relationship is okay or if it's been hard on my health or hard on my stress.
Yeah.
My health was really not good for 3 years.
Well, and I'll tell you, you know, and that very well, you know, not knowing this, you know, ultimately about, you know, you and your, you know, your partner, but hearing your mom or feeling your mom say to tell you that she approves and likes or loves how this person has been in your life and supporting you, I really feel that's, in a sense, the answer that mom's trying to give you, that, you know, to stick it out, hang in there, that you guys are meant to be together, even though you drive each other crazy, but, you know. So,
well, sometimes he just gets well, he's like who he is, but like disrespectful almost but I don't know if it is, honestly, or if it's just me because I'm cooped up now.
Yeah,
and you said, I'm tired. I really do want to go back to work, even if it's just part-time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've got about 30 seconds, my friend. I'm so sorry. I hate having to cut you off, but 100% I feel like you hit it right on the head. You getting back to work and having that, you know, that energy exchange, things will start to align and mesh beautifully with you and your partner, okay?
Okay, and I will go to that appointment. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a beautiful night. Thanks for calling. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, you guys, that's another beautiful show, and I can't wait to see you guys next week. Go to my website, mini-medium.com, and I'll see you again next week. Bye, guys.
to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for Intuitive Readings with Nate Marin. Live from intuitivereadings.com.au.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is Intuitive Reading
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hi, and welcome to A1R Psychic Radio. Wherever you are today, thank you so much for tuning in. I am Nay from Intuitive Reading. I'm a psychic and medium, and each week I deliver some insight into spiritual topics and deliver readings for callers. So now, since we spoke last week, I had delivered a number of readings, and they've all been very, very similar themes popping up. And I wanted to really take the bull by the horns this week and talk about it with you all. Because I feel as though this is affecting the whole collective, and so much so that we can't ignore these. So these themes include things like feeling attacked, feeling lost, or feeling like lacking purpose, okay? Also feeling lonely or feelings of loneliness. And I really want to address this with the wider audience because this is a really special and a really interesting time that we're living in now, astrologically. So astrologically, things are happening. And by paying attention to the lunar and the planetary movements, you are going to be exceptionally well placed to succeed and to manifest the things in your life that you really want. Okay. So astrology is an instruction manual, and it's a free one. You know, it's an instruction manual. It's a recipe book. So why wouldn't you use it? Ask anyone that's tried to put together an IKEA cupboard at 10 o'clock at night, or bake macaroons for a party that you found on Pinterest. You will always use the instruction manual or the recipe book. You know, if you needed to make a delivery to someone downtown and you didn't know where they lived, you would use, you know, your Waze, or you would use, Google Maps or whatever. You're always going to rely on those for references. So maybe ask yourself, you know, why can't I rely on astrology or use astrology in this way? And why am I making this so hard for myself? Okay. So Mercury's been in Pisces since February the 23rd, and Mercury struggles in Pisces because it's ruled by intuition and emotions, not logic and precision. Okay. So it has been a really interesting time for people. Also, you can find that you get a lot of brain fog around this time. Communication can become really foggy. You're not thinking as sharp as you have before, and you might struggle to really find words. That's certainly true in my own life. So I hope that resonates with you. There was also a full moon on the 24th of February as well. So that was a full moon in Virgo, and that can bring emotional intensity, heightened anxiety, overthinking, and we still have a little bit of that energy. It's still sort of lingering around now as well. So I'd like to do a bit of a tarot reading just for the collective now, just to see where everyone's energy's at. Okay, and so the Six of Pentacles, all right, so this is about balancing your energy and giving and receiving in equal amounts. So we live in an energetic world. I often say that whatever you put in, you will get out. So trust that, and these things need to be equal, okay? So if you're giving more and not receiving more, like there's no equilibrium there, okay? So you need to think of yourself and say no when that's needed, okay? So being able to say no in those spaces. What else do we have here? Okay, so also the Eight of Cups, okay? So walking away and knowing when to walk away, and walking away from things that aren't serving you. But walk away carefully is what Spirit's just telling me, and not to run. You've had options or choices, and you've kind of taken a more difficult route for yourself. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And I almost feel as though on this journey or on this route that you've chosen to, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to commit to this route. So you can still you can still get to where you're going. And yes, all paths lead to Rome. But it's almost as though if this is too draining and too tired, okay, they just said sunken cost. Okay, so I almost feel as though there was a bit of a money, there could have been a money investment in something, and it's kind of not working out. So, for instance, if you put money into, I don't know, Google AdWords or something, and it's not, delivering the results that you wanted, or you've done a course or something, and you're just not getting the knowledge that you want out of it, what Spirit's making you aware of, it's more about the journey that you've been on than it is about becoming successful from what you've done, from that choice. Okay, so it's okay. It is okay to walk away from that option and sort of try a different path. Is what they're making me aware of. And I'm just going to try and get more information on that. Ask for help.
Okay.
3 of Pentacles. Okay, this is the project. This card came up in the collective reading as well. This is the project card, collaboration. And in this card, you can see 2 individuals speaking to a 3rd individual. It's almost like he's an architect speaking to the chippy who's doing the work. Okay, and they are collaborating on this sort of nice little design in a building. That's what the card visually shows. And this is the teamwork makes the dream work card. Okay, so it is asking you to consider, who is it that you can ask for help in this situation? And there is going to be equivalent, like there is going to be giving and taking in this sense as well. So I do feel as though you do ask for help, and in return, you have the privilege of giving something back to them as well. It does feel as though that is a really nice energetic alignment, that relationship with that individual. How many? I almost feel as though that's 2 individuals that this collaboration happens with as well. And there is a good energetic alignment there. Step away from that, and just to give yourself a bit of a breather, you need to bring other people in. Does that help?
It definitely does. A lot of that resonates with what I've personally dealt with in my life.
Wonderful. Well, I'm so
even
glad
just cards that you're pulling in examples for sure.
Wonderful. Well, I'm glad that that's been helpful. Well, thank you so much for your energy, Tiffany. And to all the listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. I am Nay Mary from Intuitive Readings. You can find me at Nay Mary Intuitive Readings on Facebook or intuitivereadings.com.au. There are some amazing light workers coming right up after this break, so please do stay tuned in and have a great week.
To A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for Zodiac Zone with Melissa Markham. Live from mmastrovibes.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is Zodiac Zone
On A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hi, everyone. Happy New Year. Happy 2025. Oh my gosh, we have so much going on astrologically this year. I can't even begin to tell you. It's going to be a really interesting year. I feel some of the things that are going on are quite unique. We have Uranus, Neptune, and Saturn all changing signs. And what that means is it means different energy. We have Pluto in the end of 2024 go into Aquarius. So Pluto stays in a sign about 21 years. So it transforms whatever, sign it's in. Aquarius is typically about groups of people. It's about technology. It's about advanced people. So don't be surprised in the next 21 years that we make contact with extraterrestrials. Very, very possible. Also, when we look at Saturn and Neptune are going into Aries. So that tells me Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. And that tells me we're in for a new age. We're in for a new age with Neptune. Neptune covers all things spiritual. It also covers its house of prisons, house of the 12-step program. So I think we're going to see some dramatic changes on maybe some of the drug crisis in America. I think things are going to actually progress as far as helping people. I think we're going to see more gurus, more spiritual healers come out. I just think that things are going to be very different. Also, we have Uranus going into Gemini. That's really huge. Uranus stays in a sign about 7 years. Last time it was in Gemini was during World War II. Time before that, it was the Civil War, and the time before that was the American Revolution. So it comes in and awakens things, and it changes things. So this is not to scare anybody, but just to tell people that these are kind of the dramatic changes that are happening. So I feel that all of this is going to be really, we're on the precipice of really, really major changes. And like everything else, there's going to be some hardships, but there's also going to be some dramatic, as far as that we're in air energy, dramatic technological advances. So just kind of stay tuned for all of this. I know it's a lot to digest. I just did a class on this, on what's going on in 2025. And I feel like people can feel this energy. It's nothing new. And it's just a matter of sitting in discernment, knowing what's going on, but also looking inside and how you can make dramatic changes to yourself with all of this, I would say, chaos and stuff going on the planet. How can you really find that purposeful aspect of who you are and make the changes inside of yourself? So I would definitely challenge you to take on that task. I do personal readings. I do business readings. So if you're looking to, if you have this inner voice telling you, hey, this is how you feel, or what, maybe you should try this, you could always get a reading from either a personal or business perspective. My www.mmastroVibes.com. I love helping people find their soulful purpose. And in speaking about that, I'm going to take a reading. I typically have time for one reading. It's a short show, 15 minutes of Zodiac Zone, getting your Zodiac fix for 15 minutes. So I am going to Vanessa. Hi, Vanessa.
Hello.
How are you in this new year?
I'm okay. I'm hoping that 2025 will be better than 2024.
Okay, well, let's do this. Let's do a quick reading and see what we have. And so I'm going to tell you, I'm an evolutionary vibrational astrologer, so I really focus on the soul purpose of why somebody's here. What is your birthday, day, month, and year?
August 12th, 71.
Okay, 1971. What is your time that you were born?
I believe it was around 9:15, 9:20 p.m.
9:15 p.m. Okay. And the city and state?
City is Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada.
Okay, so Winnipeg. Let me pull up Canada here. Okay, I got it. Okay, so like I said, I really focus on the soul purpose of why somebody's here. I feel that you have a lot of nervous energy. Your South Node is in Leo in the 6th house of Virgo, and your North Node is in Aquarius in the 12th house of Pisces. And what that means is, so typically a South Node in Leo, I'm not saying they typically feel like in a way like everything's about them, that they're causing a lot of stuff that's going on in their life, and they sometimes like to self-isolate. I find some Leos are always searching for love, finding that perfect love. And yours being in the 6th house of Virgo, like I said, you can have all this nervous energy. I feel like you're the type of person that likes to be on a routine. You have your son there. But I think where you're going to find your highest state of consciousness and where you feel best is moving into that Aquarian energy, kind of embracing the spiritual part of your soul, embracing your weird, and doing something with groups in a spiritual kind of environment where you're getting a lot of guidance, that inner guidance from your higher self, because that's where your North Node is, in the 12th house. Things wrong with your self-worth, that you don't feel worthy, or you have trouble, it's about money, something about maybe previous life you struggled with money. So it's really, and how to overcome that is to do your spiritual purpose. And like I said, the spiritual purpose would be for you to do something in a group environment that's very spiritual, whether it would be, teaching classes as far as Reiki, or doing something like I do where I teach classes in astrology, doing something with a group dynamic involved. Let's see what else I can tell you about yourself. I feel with Saturn in the 4th house in Gemini, I don't know if you always felt like the adult in your family dynamic, or you felt a lot of responsibility when it came to family, whether it's, from childhood or just in the family dynamic as a whole, Uranus in the 8th house, I feel like sometimes your life could have taken a dramatic change that was unexpected. I don't know, again, I want to keep this very general because astrology, is very specific and unique and very private to people who, get a session. And I feel relationships, whether they're business, personal, there's been some difficulty in those too. How does this feel? Am I on track with this? Is it,
Yeah, you are. Like when you previously mentioned, like my nervous energy, that has a lot to do with what I've encountered in the past couple of years, as well as, not feeling worthy and, the money issues and all that. So yeah, you are in tune with what's going on.
Yeah, and I would say too, I know I have, I just wanted to kind of give you, a little bit. I feel like a more in-depth reading would be really good for you. So we can kind of dive into some of these things in more detail if you're open for that in the future, because I feel that once you get on that spiritual realm and found your spiritual purpose, everything shifts. Everything around you shifts. The people around you shift, and it's truly where you feel the best about yourself. So I invite you to do that in the future. But thank you for calling, and I wish you a really happy and healthy 2025.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Sure.
Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, Enlightening Television. Welcome.
Time for Peace, Love, Tranquility, Healing with Tony Lacey. Live from peacelovetranquilityhealing.my.canva.site/Peace Love Tranquility Healing -home.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is Peace, Love, Tranquility, Healing
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Good evening and happy Thursday, everyone. March the 6th. Where did the first 2 months go? Well, I can tell you we had 8 feet of snow. Actually just started melting a week ago here in Ontario, Canada. So I am Tony, the trance medium. My business name is Peace, Love, Tranquility, Healing. And that came about when I was at a clinic for PTSD treatments. There was another patient there who was struggling. She confided in me while she was waiting for her therapist. And as she got up to leave, I just said, I wish you nothing but peace, love, and tranquility. After I said that, I was like, whoa, that was good. And that's been stuck since 2016. So the healing aspect is I've done Reiki. I also do mediumship and psychic readings, trance healing, trance mediumship, and trance psychic. So the healing comes in forms of me being able to connect with loved ones who have crossed over and families, individuals that would like some type of closure or hear from them to get a message or to get some reminders to bring up some good, happy memories. So healing for me is a big thing. I try to make sure that whoever I am with, whether it be in person or on Zoom, that I leave them in better mental health than when they first came to me. So that's about me. And I believe that we have a caller coming shortly. And it is Casey in Michigan. Hi, Casey. I'm Tony. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I am going to give you the option if you would like psychic or mediumship reading.
Mediumship.
Mediumship? Okay. So it's going to take me a minute to connect into your energy.
That's no problem.
The first soul that comes through is actually a dog.
Really?
Do you have a dog that's crossed over?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not the best with breeds. So I'm seeing a German Shepherd. So that to me could be meaning the size or an actual German Shepherd breed with the brown colorings. Does that
doesn't sound familiar.
Okay. That's okay. There is a male energy coming through, just coming through from your mom's side. So it could be an uncle or a grandfather, but it's on your mother's side.
Okay.
He's showing himself to me in a military outfit, dated back, not a current military uniform.
Okay, could be my grandpa.
and he just smiled and saluted you.
He smiled and what?
He smiled and saluted you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I heard the name Bob before I connected when I was still with the dog. So I don't know if that resonates or not, but he's wearing a military style hat that kind of looks like an oval with the peak at the front and peak at the back, and a brown color. So it would have been, I'm feeling like World War II is coming up.
Okay.
And he just called you my little princess. He has quite the admiration for you. This is the feelings that I'm getting from him are just absolutely lovely. Absolutely. He's showing me a bouquet of flowers.
Okay.
And it's like a spring mix. So it's not a bunch of roses. It's not a bunch of one particular. It's a whole bunch of different kinds of flowers. And I'm seeing a sunflower specifically is standing out.
Okay. Could be my dad's energy.
Okay. What happens is when one soul comes through, they sometimes lead the way for the others. So it's not uncommon for more than one soul to kind of sort of come to the forefront. So they could be speaking over each other.
Okay.
But the sunflower has significance, most definitely.
Okay.
I'm feeling like your father had dexterity issues where he would drop things. And this would be later on in life.
The dog's energy is coming through the strongest.
Sorry?
Is the dog's energy like the strongest, coming through the strongest to you?
He keeps fighting his way back to the front, yes. But now I'm seeing like the German Shepherd. It could be a golden retriever, a yellow lab, something of the larger size. But I also saw a white a Shih Tzu, I guess, type looking, with shaggy hair, kind of wavy hair. Now, this could be a family's dog from not just yourself, but could be your mom or your father's that's coming through. And the name Trixie Pixie, something that sounds like that, is coming up.
Not really ringing the bell.
That's okay. I'm trusting what you're giving me. It may make sense in a couple of hours, may make sense in a couple of weeks. I'm just passing along the information that I'm getting. Your mother's still here, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, because her energy is coming forward strongly now. Sorry, I need water. It's too dry in here.
You need what?
I just had a sip of water. I'm sorry, hon.
It's okay.
Yeah, your mother's energy kind of pushed her way to the forefront.
Yeah, that would be.
Her personality?
No, she would just put, yeah, I guess you could say that.
I'm seeing a shorter woman, heavier build, and I'm feeling European background. I don't know why I want to say Polish or Croatian is coming up.
Now, why do you think her energy would be coming forward if she's still here?
Well, it happens where the incarnate come through, and it's to give you a message. I'm just going to ask her what it is because we're running out of time. She says, you've got this. Trust yourself. You are going to make the right decision. I'm always here for you. All you need to do is call and ask. And she just wrapped her arms around you from behind. So her arms are coming out around the front of you. So thank you, Casey, for calling in. I hope you find some healing from that. And feel free to write to the show if anything comes up where it resonates or you want clarification. We can always do an online booking and we can meet through Zoom. So I very much appreciate you being my first caller on the first show that I've done.
Awesome. Okay, thank you.
Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the week and weekend.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you, everyone, for joining me on A1R Psychic Radio, as well as Moonstruck TV. I hope to see you again. I will be here on Thursdays at 8:30 Eastern Time, which would be New York, Toronto time. And I'm wishing everyone peace, love, and tranquility.
Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV and Lightning Television. Welcome.
Time for Insights with Solaris with Jennifer. Live from Solaris.one.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio.
Or one of our websites,
askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is Insights with Solaris
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello, everyone. Good evening and good morning, whenever and wherever you are watching. Welcome to another episode of Insights with Solaris, where I'm your host, Jennifer. I'm certified in over a dozen healing modalities, but at the end of the day, I simply say I am a channel of spirit, bringing messages for those who find me. And if you joined us before, you'll know by now that I start up with this show with a collective reading for the week. And this is usually energies to just be aware of as you're following the next 7 days. It will affect everyone a little bit differently as this is a general reading, but overall, these are things that you can expect moving forward. And so immediately we do have some harsh endings coming. Not to be afraid. Sometimes we do need to take a traditional approach in overcoming difficulties. There may have been some information coming to light that may have been difficult to share, or things to actually look back and consider for yourself. We are in Venus retrograde now, so it is a time to look forward and inward at yourself to realize how you are showing up in relationships and in your own life. And as you're moving through these past stories, because this is the ending, you're about to start a new cycle. So as we're going through these stories, you're finding unity within yourself, and you're coming into more peace. And that is going to be a very strong theme for the collective moving forward. Things can get a little bit shaky out in the world and external circumstances, but as you are coming to inner peace, things become a bit more clear. And by the beginning of next week, so as we go into Sunday and Monday, and even a tiny bit of Tuesday of next week, you are having so much development in your own emotions, and this is going to help all of your relationships. You're going to see changes in your romance, changes in your family life, and it's just going to bring you so much joy. And it's incredible to see, especially with the next few days, especially on Friday. It looks like we're having some difficulties. But as we were moving through that, as we were working together and we get to this beautiful emotional energy, we're getting harmony back. It's less about arguing with other people or proving that you're right or they're right. It's coming to a transformational experience. So I'd love to see that coming forward after this little bit of difficulties. But of course, this is just 1 or 2 days in the year. So if you do have a difficult day, especially on Friday, know that it's just 1 day out of the year, and don't take it too much personally. All right, so that's our collective reading. So we're going to go to Karen today from Tennessee. Hello, Karen.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you tonight?
I am doing fantastic also. This is amazing. I'm excited.
All right. So what type of questions do you have, Karen?
I need to know about my love life. It's a wreck.
Oh, yeah. You've had some disappointing stuff comes out. The first card that came in was the 5 of Cups, and that can be a hard card to receive, especially when we're just diving into romance and relationships. I can see, like you're not seeing the best of the situations, and Spirit is coming through, and I'm seeing a lot of blockages too. So being able to
really into my energy for sure.
Yeah. So being able to show up in a relationship means that you deserve an environment where you feel comfortable enough to be your authentic self. And it seems to me, especially with what I'm feeling in the throat and in this heart, is that there's a fear of abandonment that's coming through. And within that, you are starting to project a version of yourself which you think would be more accepted than what you actually are. But in the truth of the reality is you are lovable just the way you are. There's nothing specific that you need to do in order to be loved. And all of that is just coming from this fear of abandonment from past relationships. And I do see, just from things that you have learned throughout your lifetime, you've been told a lot of really terrible things in your life that has really hurt some of your confidence. But for all life experiences, and I know this is hard to say when we go through difficult things, but when you understand your worth, you will have no problem walking away from situations that are not for you. And it seems like you've had a lot of those situations where you had to walk away. And these are tests that come forward to us, tests that brings us anxiety. But each one of these situations that we go through, we are learning. You are learning a whole lot about emotions, human emotions, that's for sure.
Yes, wow.
Yeah.
But you're right. But it was 17 years I was married, and it just came to an end, and I'm devastated, honestly.
Right.
And it seems like every guy I meet is the same type.
Sorry, Karen, do you have a trip coming up anywhere anytime soon?
Not that I know of, no. No.
Okay. So, let's see what we have coming up. So it seems like we're moving away from that learning energy and stepping up more, okay? Like you have done your work. You are meant to start to come more into balance now and to move quickly. So I am seeing that overall there is still that feeling of anxious energy, and that's okay, right? All right, but underneath all the anxiousness is actually you rebuilding a foundation for yourself where you're like, yeah, I'm ready for a trustworthy relationship. And keyword, trustworthy. This isn't going to be somebody when you're with, you're going to be anxious. You're going to be like, okay, I'm safe in this. I can feel on my emotions. And you are moving towards that. I'm seeing you.
Go ahead.
Right.
I'm so sorry. You go ahead. I do have a question about a guy.
All right. It's one of
I'm
those
sorry.
days.
You go ahead and do. You are so on point so far. I'm not going to stop you. You just keep going. You were right.
So just one thing before, and I'll let you ask your question, is that why I'm asking about a trip, because it does seem the next few people you are going to come in contact with has to do with transportation, whether you're meeting this person in another city, or if you're going on a day trip somewhere, or you're going to a mechanic to help drop your car off. There seems to be just this message of transportation here. All right. And so what did you want to ask, Karen?
That does make some sense. John, I kind of met him kind of like that, but under circumstances I'm not able to see him, not in how. But I'm nervous. I don't know. It's hard for me to trust. I'm scared of being abandoned again.
Mm-hmm.
Can you feel anything about him?
Yeah. And so it's okay to take movement forward. Yes, we have fears and whatnot, but it's okay to take a chance, because what I'm seeing here, you have these options coming forward of how do I go forward, but it doesn't matter what option you choose, because either way you're learning something which your soul wants to learn. So it doesn't matter if you want to stay in fear of being abandoned, if you want to stay in a position where you are not showing up as yourself, you can. And that's no judgment. If you feel safer that way, that's no judgment.
No,
but if you don't want to do that, if you want to experience love, you do have to step out of your comfort zone. And I see you doing this slowly, a few steps at a time, not nothing where you're completely uncomfortable, but just enough that a step by step, you're like, okay, I'm going to try to open up about this conversation and see how he takes it. Okay, it went well. So I'm going to open up a little bit more. You're allowed to take those little steps to help ease that anxiety. Because I see two kings here. And so balance of emotions of somebody who understands, who is willing to be respected, gives respect as he receives it, a compassionate, also very practical. So if you are showing up as yourself and you say, hey, these are my fears, they're going to be like, okay, let's see how we can work on this together. And overall, I see it as a way to collaborate with each other instead of like, okay, I have to fix this. No, you are building a foundation where you are saying, I trust this individual. I trust them with my emotions, and I'm willing to take that step and overcome that fear in order to get what I want. Because you have an incredible energy. You want your wishes coming true, and your wish must be emotional fulfillment. That is what you're wishing for.
That's what I want, yes. And you are on point. One thing I've noticed, my intuition, I have been trusting it more. I mean, it's on point.
Mm-hmm.
I notice I'm better at that.
Yeah.
I don't second guess. You are so good.
Well, I'm glad that all of this is hitting on point. But as we come in, I'm going to let spirits come and speak in a little bit without the cards right now, is that the best love comes when you appreciate it most. And you felt what it's like to have unhealthy love. You felt what it's like to be hurt by people who are biologically supposed to love you, parents, siblings, all that jazz. And you have experienced all different types of love. And at this time, it is time for you to find that balance, you're like, okay, I'm done with all of these lessons. I'm ready to step in and find that emotional fulfillment. And the greatest gift is overcoming obstacles and still being able to love at the end of the day, no matter how much you have been hurt, to still look in yourself and say, I love myself and I'm still capable of loving another. That is the greatest lesson that anybody can learn in a lifetime.
And I feel I can do that. I do. I thought it was a flaw, but it's not. I can forgive so easily.
Yeah, you have all this incredible family energy coming in. You have your wish fulfillment coming in. Your dreams are coming in. You just have a little bit more work to do. And everything is going to end up coming into your favor. It is going to be slow steps because you are allowed to take things slow. We don't have to do fast. We don't have to be uncomfortable all of the time because you are getting your happy ending. And I'm just going to leave it with this card here, the sun. Okay. Happiness. Having your sunrise every morning, having that person that you wake up in the morning, you drink coffee with or tea, and that lights up your face. That is there for you, but you got to take that risk and say, I want to trust and I want to love, and I see you taking that. I see you wanting it. And overall, this is a very beautiful energy after we get out of our mind because you are creating it.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. You just are amazing. You said, I feel John. I do. I smile when I think about him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He sees. I do think he's trustworthy. Did you say spirit was going to come through?
Yes. So spirit was coming through. Look for those characters of emotions and practicality. When you feel safe enough to be you, that's when you know that you're on the right path.
To A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, Enlightening Television. Welcome.
Time for Mystic Medicine with Dr. Nikisha Faye. Live from drnikki.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio.
Or one of our websites,
askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is Mystic Medicine
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Mystic Medicine. I am Dr. Nikisha Faye, Mystic Mentor, Wisdom Teacher, Spiritual Guide. I'm here to support you with your evolution. If you have been tuning in to my previous shows, you'll probably see how we work a little bit differently, possibly to what you're used to. And so I guess what the difference is that I work a lot with energy and the recognition that we are made of energy. And from there, it's the energy that we can cultivate internally, willingly, can become to create the world around us. And I know that can sound really far-fetched, but I'm sort of assuming that if you are coming to these types of transmissions, you are already on that path of awakening and are aware of how much more information is available to us now about how we can play more of a role curating lives that we desire, rather than being stuck in that unawareness and just allowing our old stories most of the time that keep repeating and keep us in that space of suffering. And that's probably one of the first major, I guess, steps in that realization, is that we do have more of a choice than we believe to create in our lives the way that we desire. And, because everything is energy, the energy that we hold on the inside of us becomes to be reflected on the outside. And, it can become a bit like a chicken and the egg when we've been, sitting in that space of unawareness around that, sitting in the space through our generations as well. We pick up a lot of beliefs and attitudes and, other habits and mannerisms and behaviors from when we're young. When we're hanging around our families, when we're young, they talk about us not being able to discern the difference between self and others in the first couple of years of our lives. And because we are like sponges, that we do take on a lot of these programs from our ancestry in those very first few years of life without even knowing. And then, the wonders of the subconscious is that we hold a lot of our experiences in the subconscious, particularly experiences we haven't allowed ourselves to process, or we haven't been able to process because we are so young. When we are young, we don't have the skills to be able to sit with why we're feeling upset and, try to create solutions or different ways of being for ourselves so those patterns don't continue to repeat. And, unfortunately, we're not taught how to cope either in school, much to the, not dismay is not the right word, but it's like it's really quite astounding. That's the word. I find it quite astounding that, really basic functional, how to human, how to do life skills don't really get taught. Things like communication, things like managing emotions, managing stress, all of those key things that really help us to be able to have an okay time at this journey. Because, let's face it, there is always loads and loads of stuff going on. And, when we realize that we can choose our focus as well, we can really start to weave a lot more change through our own lives. And it's really about just being present to what's happening. And am I on a cycle of repeat? Like, is my mind continuing to repeat a particular story that keeps going round and round and round recreating itself. And this is literally what happens because our subconscious doesn't know the difference between real and imagined, that as long as we're holding on to things that continue to be repeated in our minds, that our nervous system feels that it's happening all over again. And so, just considering the magnitude of that, like just because we can't see it and we're not participating in it, what our mind does is continues to recreate the same scenarios in our beautiful nervous system. And, when our nervous system gets triggered, we lose connection to our prefrontal cortex. This is our front brain, and our front brain is what does a lot of our problem solving. And so, while we're in a stress state, we can't actually think clearly. It is physiologically impossible to think clearly when we are stressed. We lose capacity for not only problem solving, but also things like how to behave, like socialization behavior, they call it, recognizing consequences for action. And, we can see that so much woven through when people are stressed. When people are stressed, we literally cannot access how to behave properly, how to behave from a place that isn't going to create more problems. And so, the importance of recognizing then, are we in a stressed state? And when we are we capable of having rational discussions with people? Are we capable of problem solving? Or do we need to take a moment to bring ourselves back into a calm space and then reevaluate the best way to go forward? Once we calm down, we get that reconnection again to our problem solving. And, so one of the easiest ways to lower a stress response is to slow down your breath. And so if, you're in a space of being chronically stressed and you're used to shallow breathing, it's not uncommon because, we've never been taught these things, these really simple, basic life survival skills, that when we shallow breathe, that it's activating a stress response. So it kind of goes chicken and egg with that as well. So if you take a moment now and just notice how you breathe, and if you're shallow breathing, can you allow yourself to slow the breath down? Just as best you can. It's a practice like everything, particularly because if you've never done these sort of things before, it's like anything. You just hop on a bike and ride it, not very often, right? So, when you turn inwards and feel your beautiful breath and just slow it down. Just slow it down as best you can. And as you slow that breath down, maybe you can start to draw it a little more deeply. And as you do that a few more times, you might actually feel yourself starting to relax. The other beautiful thing is that when we're thinking about our breath, when we're focused on, bringing that breath down further, our mind isn't running away on us. That's fascinating. So we can't actually be stuck in our heads when we're connected to our breath. And literally, if you do that for a few minutes, and just try the best you can. If you're a shallow breather, you can become a deep breather. It's like any skill. It's just taking the time to entrain your body to be able to start to gently take deeper and deeper breaths. And then what happens is that when you can start to make more full lung breaths, that it stimulates our vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve is the one that puts a brake on the stress response, like literally. So our breath can stop a stress response in its tracks. And there's so much research on it as well, which I find really fascinating. I did write a review paper on it a couple of years ago. If anyone's interested in that, I'm happy to send it, or you can find it on my website under other resources as well. There's heaps of stuff on there that, if this type of thing interests you. So practice with that breath. Like, it is so simple because it is. It doesn't need to be as complicated as, we make it as a modern society as well. And so practice with the breath. Let me know how you go with it. It really is life-changing. It's quite remarkable. All right, we have time for our first caller. Was it Christy? I think. Let me find the chat. Beautiful Christy. Yes. Hello. Are you there?
Yes. How are you?
Yeah, well, thank you. How are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah, what's happening? What would you like to bring forward today?
I don't know. I just want to basically act like my life, what's going on now and what's to come, and I'm going to be able to handle it, or...
Yeah, okay. So, what I'll do is I'll just take a moment. I'm just going to tune into your energy. And so I'm being drawn to your throat space, and it feels like there's some constriction around your inner communication. And so it feels like you are receiving intuitive information. So whenever you say have a reflection about, what you should be doing, when you ask yourself questions like, what should I do in this situation and that situation, it feels like you know the answer to it. However, there's doubt. There's like doubt that then it's almost like what they're showing me is there's this stream of information coming down, because this is our communication center. It's not only communication that we speak, it's also communication that we receive, which is not just from the outside world. It can be communication from our inner world as well, but then also from our intuition, so from our guides or our inner wisdom. And so what they're showing me is you're receiving inner wisdom that is being negated, and what it's doing is it's sending a spin-off into your mind, and then your thinking mind is just trying to make sense of it and overanalyze, and then that's where a bit of confusion comes in then. Are you able to resonate with that?
Yes.
Yeah, so what the guides are suggesting firstly is to trust more, trust that you do know. Because what happens is when we receive, because we receive insight, when we receive information, when we block it because we're not listening, or we decide that there's no validation to that information, we then jump into the thinking mind, and our thinking mind then tries to over-process. And so firstly, they're suggesting that you trust more. And what you'll find is the more that you trust, the more confirmation you'll receive that you can trust what you know. And then that starts to open more and more of the gateway into more and more information being available to you as well. Because what happens is every time we don't trust, it shuts the door again. And so it's like they're knocking. I go, here's your answer, whenever you ask. And so what you might do is practice spending some time in stillness. It doesn't have to be long. And as you breathe into your heart space. I'll just get you to do that now. If you can do that. What happens when we breathe into the heart space is it redirects the energy from our mind into our wisdom higher self that lives in our beautiful heart. And so as you take a few breaths in and out through your heart space, are you able to connect with that?
Yeah.
And just allow yourself to feel that open spaciousness of your heart. You might even slow down the breath. So when we're more relaxed, our energy is more open as well to receive. And as you breathe through your beautiful heart space, you might connect in with the energies of your true heart, which is that unconditional, a beautiful gratitude and joy and appreciation. As you breathe into that a little more deeply, how's that feeling for you?
Nice.
Yeah, so as you keep your awareness in your beautiful heart space, and I'll get you to ask yourself, what would you have me know now? And allow yourself to receive the answer. Are you able to receive? Sorry?
I'm trying.
Yeah, it's more like a relax into it. So receiving information is a receiving, it's not a seeking. And this is the practice, because ever since we're at school, we're taught to try and seek an answer. And that's a different part of the brain. And so receiving the information is really that state of opening, relaxing, and allowing the information to come through. And so I'll leave you with that practice, but the information that I received is you're on the right track. So you're on the right track, whatever it is, it's like you have a desire to move forward in a particular way, to go with that feels like it's the doubt that's creating the confusion and not so much the situation. It's more the doubt. So if you spend every day 5 minutes in your heart space and allowing your nervous system to spend more time in relaxation, I'd work with that slowing down the breath a few times a day just to help you to be more in your body and get comfortable with relaxing. And what you'll find is it will be easier for you to receive information because it's there. They're showing me that your inner wisdom is there for you. It's just getting the conditions right to be able to receive it. So that's relax, pop out of your head, come into your beautiful heart space and sit and allow the insight to arrive for you. Does that help?
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, good luck with it. I know you can do it.
Thank you.
Okay, we have Lillian. Hi, Lillian.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, well, thank you. What would you like to bring forward for us today?
So I want to ask about my kids. They're grown up and stuff. My daughter has mental health issues. I just wondered, do you ever see them being happy, healthy, and whole? Like both my kids suffer from depression, right?
Yeah, yes. Right, so depression is a disconnection. It's a disconnection to self and disconnection to source. I'm just checking in whether there's a line working within universal law that I'm unable to enter a person's energy field without their permission.
Right.
Yeah, that's just, through my guides. I mean, I could, but I know that that's not within the laws of the universe. Can you ask the question around you?
Sure. Okay. I got hurt from work. I am in major amounts of pain. I'm just wondering, because the last 7 years have been not so much fun. I'm just wondering if you ever see me being a little more happier than what I have, because I mean, I got injured on the job, and honestly, it's depressed me, and I'm just wondering if I myself could just be a little bit happier, maybe win a little bit of money, move, I don't know, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like I wanted. Sorry?
Yeah, great question. As if we're listening to the beginning of this call where we were sharing about frequency and how everything's frequency.
Right.
Yeah, so what happens when we believe that we're stuck in situations that we don't like? It perpetuates that energy. And so that kind of lower frequency energy continues to magnetize itself. And, it's the same with all energy, magnetizes itself. And so while you're feeling like you're trapped in a job that you don't like, it's continuing
No. I lost my job. But what I'm saying is, for now, money is an issue. So I'm just wondering if you see any changes.
Yeah. Okay. So what would be...
Because I've been trying to do my frequency higher. I know that.
Yeah. And, it's even beyond working with frequency with just the mind. It's about that embodiment. So, coming into your heart space. So the heart space is a really beautiful space to help raise frequency. Relax, come into your heart space, and can you access the absolute truth that you're always okay?
Yeah. Okay.
And, sit with that. And when you sit with your beautiful heart energy, my awareness is getting taken to your abdomen. And it feels like, there's, constriction around that area, and it is related a little bit. There's your children weaving in there as well. So the energy of the children reside in the sacral, in the womb space. And so what you can do is work with the energy of water. And so you can imagine. Yeah, so you could do a practice every day, as well as tuning into your heart to keep that beautiful frequency raised, because that'll help your body reharmonize and your energy reharmonize more easily. But I would work with your sacral area and envisage water flowing through there.
Right.
So beautiful water, because water's cleansing and clearing. Yeah, and the energy of flow.
Funny that you
know
say
how-
that, because whenever I feel low, I go to the water and I just look at it, to the beach.
Yeah, beautiful.
Right.
Yes, yeah, amazing. And so
my children are older, just to let you know, but it's just, I really, really hope that they'll just be happier, and that's all I was saying to you, right?
Yeah, totally. And, everybody's sovereign, especially when they're older. And so sometimes people's journey is the way that it is to reach a particular point that their soul desired to reach as well. So that's
of course
why we kind of don't interfere with people against their will, so to speak, because their journey.
No, my daughter totally believes in this stuff. So
yeah.
So I just want to, between me and you, do you see a move or anything for me, or no?
I think if you connect in with the water, so next time you go and look at the water, the energy of water is about flow, so is about movement. And so it feels like with a lot of that energy accumulating in your sacral area at the moment, it's creating stuckness. So it's actually creating that stagnation. And so if you consciously work with water every day and envisage the flow, see if you can feel the flow moving through your sacral area, and work with that for a few weeks, because it's going to help to move some of that stuckness, because it feels like moving will be beneficial, but it's going to be more difficult while that energy is stuck. And so consciously working with the energy of water, even when you're in a shower, sorry, I've got like 30 seconds left, even when you're in a shower, just envisage it moving all the way through your body, just clearing out the past, because it's the past that is what keeps our energy stuck as well, and then keeps everything stuck in the world around us too. So hopefully that's helpful for you.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah, keep working with the water. Miracles happen.
I will. Thank you so much.
Take care. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for tuning in today, and we'll see you again next week.
Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for Bernice Bisson, Psychic Media. Bernice Bisson, live from BerniceBissonPsychic.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/Psychic Radio. Or one of our websites, AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv.
This is Bernice Bisson, Psychic Media.
On A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Welcome. It's Psychic Tuesday. I'm your guide, Bernice Bisson. Thank you for joining me on A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck Television. I'm here every Tuesday talking astrology, squeezing in a reading or two sometimes. I do want to start with the astrology at the top, but I also want to just start with a message, because I am a Canadian, and very proud Canadian. And we have a lot of people in the U.S. who listen to this show. And I do want to say we have a saying about elbows up. You're going to see that a lot, but I'm going to make a big heart, because, the truth is that we are all kind of one and the same, and that the truth about it all is not really about a political conversation. It's really about the rich and the poor. That's really what that's about, and who runs things and that. So keep that in mind, that we're all just people getting along and in our lives and trying to raise our families and do our work and those kinds of things. And that it's sort of an unfortunate position that we find ourselves in, having given power to politics, unfortunately. And so, but the truth is that The conversation's more not about us and them. Conversation is more about we. And how, as a society, can we be we? Okay, with B on Tuesdays. Anyway, no lectures, just love. And that, hopefully we can work everything out. That's what I'm hoping. All right. I am going to start with some of the astrology at the top. We've got a couple of planets going into retrograde motion this next 7 to 10 days, and Venus and Mercury. And Venus, sort of in that Pisces, Aries wheelhouse, but that Aries wheelhouse and that retrograde. Aries is often known as the warrior, but truly, I would almost say that they're more likely the goddess Diana, the goddess, the warrior of the forest, the huntress, and that it's going back with Venus retrograde, sort of with this energy, is reflecting on actions, reflecting on words and actions, reflecting on relationships, reflecting on old things we might want to have said, or going back and reflecting on our values, reflecting on who we are. And then we've got Mercury, which is really going back in our communications and also going back over old communications. So these two areas will be lit up. Things that are said today doesn't mean anything tomorrow. And we could find that information that comes out, will be going back over for detail. And Mercury retrograde is notorious for, electronic failures, for glitches in the matrix. And then the final piece is that we have a total lunar eclipse in Virgo on March 14th. And it's an important one because on February 28th is when that portal opened with the new moon in Pisces. And now we have a culminating lunar eclipse in Virgo. And I'm going to kind of go into each of the signs based on what I just talked about. Sun, moon, or rising. You listen to all three. If you know your sun is your divine masculine, it's like I do. It's the world out there. What do you do? And the divine feminine is your home body, your emotion. I feel. And your ascendant or your first house is how those get put together in the vehicle you drive it forward in, and so how you present it. And so that would be like your ascendant. And I would listen to all three for a fuller picture. So if I talk about Aries, sun, moon, rising with Venus retrograde in your sign, personal desires and self-presentation comes into focus. Reflect on your values and how you express them in relationships. Taking up space. What are your boundaries? What's important to you? Are you codependent? Are you avoidant? What's going on around you in relationships? And you might be going over old ground in that. The upcoming lunar eclipse may prompt changes in your daily routines. Use this time for self-reflection and adjustment. You could find that your daily routine is disrupted and that you're like, that's it. I'm putting a discipline in so that A, B, and C happens every day. And so this could be a good turnabout for you the next 7 to 10 days. Tauruses, sun, moon, rising. Venus retrograde encourages you to address unresolved issues, particularly in areas of closure and unconscious patterns. The lunar eclipse is going to highlight the need to release outdated habits. Maybe they're not your type. Maybe they're your pattern. Taurus, maybe that's just what's going on for you. And I feel like you could be letting go of what no longer serves you. That could be work environments, people, friends, friend groups, social circles, leagues you might have belonged to, golf buddies, whatever that's about, so there's changes for you, Tauruses, that, and habits that would have drawn you to them. So what habits are you having in relationship that might keep in relationships that feel not reciprocal? And so you're going to look at that for yourselves next 7 to 10 days and move in a new direction, because when these planets go direct, we'll be moving in a new direction. So it's almost like, if you can imagine an arrow being pulled back in its bow, ready to be shot. And so as we pull back, tension builds, and wherever we've been aiming it, full steam ahead, full steam ahead. Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising. This is going to be a period that's going to be about reevaluating social dynamics and community relationships. The lunar eclipse could prompt some reassessments of friendships and group affiliations. You could consider who's in your circle, who's on your social media, who's in your friend circle. Do they have similar values? Gemini, you have Jupiter in your sign. You're going to be really thinking, but particularly when Uranus starts to make its appearance the next, couple months, 2 months, you're assessing who's in your circle. If they're what they're saying or spouting out there in the public realm, you don't agree with, you're going to be like block and remove. Your friend list could be deteriorated a bit, and you could be cleaning house. And I feel like, you know what? You don't want your space gunked up with people's opinions all the time. You might just want to watch cat videos. Totally okay. Cancerian, Sun, Moon, Rising, professional growth, strengthening home foundations are in focus for you guys. The eclipse is going to be about balancing career ambitions with your personal life. And it's going to be about responsibility versus comfort. And it's going to be about maybe uncomfortable conversations in houses of responsibility, work, places, processes, things that you have to get through, you have to work through the details of. And I feel like a little bit of discomfort could go a long way for you in terms of really seeing some growth professionally. And that could just be in terms of work environments, career trajectories. So you might be feeling like you're going over old ground, going over old conversations, and then find out new information, especially with this eclipse. And it's going to send you in a new direction, Cancerians, for the next 6 months. So some big stuff for you guys there. Going over work processes, documents, jobs, careers, those types of things, and a new trajectory, new roles, new ways of looking at things. Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising. You're inspired to explore new philosophies and adventure. The eclipse might promote changes in your belief systems. You could be looking at a shift in perspectives, therapy, learning environments, really looking at how you viewed things. You could be gathering strength in that. You could be really educating yourself, looking at new ways of dealing with things, looking at new visions, plans, and it could feel a bit frightening and a bit way out there. And as these retrograde plans come into play, it might be going back to some old goals you had or old visions you might have had for them to move ahead quickly in the next 6 weeks or so, even once these planets go back direct. And so you're going to have a new perspective, though, no belief systems where you thought that, the last 20 years, 30 years, 10 years, 5 years, this is how I thought it was, and it's not anymore. And so you're going to be making decisions from a completely different perspective. And so the next 7 to 10 days are going to give you a taste of that, especially with that eclipse coming. Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising. Boy, that eclipse in your sign emphasizes your own personal transformation, releasing habits, self-improvement, really looking at maybe going from perfectionist to, it's good enough, or from being too micro to looking at the macro and the bigger picture. And that this is going to be the beginning. This is the first eclipse of a series of eclipses that are going to be transformative in your identity, Virgo, whether you're sun, moon, or you're rising. And it's going to be very transformative. So if it's, for instance, in your sun, it could be very much in your social, your career, how you identify, the type of work you're doing. And you could solidify it, make some real commitments by the time these eclipses are done with you. Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, relationships under review. And the eclipse is about healing partnerships, communicating openly with partners and seeking balance in your connections. Hey, maybe you were in a mindset of things weren't coming together, things weren't getting committed. It could have felt very friends with benefits. It could feel very situationships, a bit of confusion around relationship for those of you in those Libras in those cycles. And that you could be going over old conversations, text, interactions, old ground with lovers, partners, past, present, and really looking at, can I work it out with this person? Is it going to work out? You could have old lovers coming back from the past. They could be coming out of the woodwork. and you're really looking at seeking balance. Is this what I want? Is this what I need? You just had a whole series of eclipses that would have changed your karma around relationships, Libra. And so what you wanted 6 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago isn't what you want now. And so you could be looking for something much different, and wanting to really communicate that. And you could find something gets presented to you that is good and is kind of new for you. And that you could be, you know, I'm not sure. And I just feel like this is that new energy. You could be looking at making commitments even in the next, once these plans go direct, you could be saying, that's the one, that's where I want to go. Scorpio, sun, moon, rising. Focus on your daily routines and well-being. The eclipse is going to prompt some health changes, health habits. Could be like you realize that, oh my gosh, I got to really take care of my health and well-being. I got to take care of my routine has gotten out of sync. I'm off my diet. I'm off my plan. I haven't been as diligent as I know I have been. You could get on a new healing routine, medications, treatments, things that could be quite beneficial. You could be taking it serious. You could be making new commitments in terms of your wellness and very much so in the daily routine part of your chart, right? So the day-to-day, what cumulatively is adding up for you. And you could see some real rewards by looking at your daily routines. Sagittarius, sun, moon, rising, creative and personal expression, hobbies, things you enjoy, time to play. You could find that you're focused a little bit and over this next, 7 to 10 days, but even as these planets go retrograde, going over old projects you've kind of left to the side, and you're like, oh, I can get back to that hobby. I can get back to that enjoyment. And it's about balancing work and fun. And, you might be feeling a bit spring fevered coming up soon. You could be feeling like you really want to get back to some old projects that you want to finish up before you move on to new ones, which I would suggest with this retrograde energy, not to move on to new things too quickly, because you could be going over old details. But this is a great time to finish up some old endeavors, projects, renovations, home pieces, hobbies, things you've been working on. Going back to old hobbies you've really enjoyed in the past. You could be getting back to practicing the guitar. You could be getting back to things that you're really wanting to enjoy again. Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising. Home and family matters take precedent. And so when I think about that, I think the eclipse also is about reassessing your living situation. And this could be about you outgrew, you're too big for your britches there, Capricorn. It could be time to move on from a long-term career, move on from a long-term place of employment or long-term partnership. And in all of these instances, you would have lost your passion for them. So there would be something that you could have been contemplating for a while. It could have been kind of the writing's been on the wall for a while. I just feel like circumstances are going to come together for you to really move you to get, to a new place of looking at things over the next, and it could be around, as simple as moving house, moving places where you live. It could be big, like career and all of it, relocation. So some big stuff coming up for you, Capricorns, the next 7 to 10 days. And it's not a step back. I think it's a redirection. Aquarian, sun, moon, rising, communication and community involvement are emphasized. This eclipse will encourage heartfelt communications, meaningful conversations, sense of belonging in your community, any volunteer activities, social activities, groups, belongings, community gatherings. You could find that you get a real sense of belonging. They could reach out to you. You could find that something really, a cause really takes up your passions. You could feel excited about it, but it certainly brings you into sort of a web of belonging. You feel like you're being brought into something where you could find a real group idea, thought, a group culture, a group cause that you feel like you have a real sense of belonging there, Aquarians, in this, and it could really, community ties could be strengthened. You could be given opportunity, you could be tapped on the shoulder to be on a board of directors. You could have a good volunteer opportunity. You could have a good opportunity to contribute to your community in some way that you find really invigorating in this next 7 to 10 days, but it does take hold over this entire year for you. Finally, Pisces, last but not the least there, Pisces, because man, you got a lot of energy. And you got the sun, you got Neptune, you got Saturn, you got this sort of Venus retrograde going to touch touch ground a bit in your sign. Some big stuff going on. And this is a time of renewal and deepening relationships. And the eclipse is really going to highlight personal growth, new beginnings, partnerships, nurturing connections, creating your network, your web of people, creating, like if you're in sales, it's really ideal around creating a network of people that you could sell to, you could connect with, you can, new clients, you could have new options in your love life, things that you didn't see before. If you're in a long-term relationship situation, you could be finding new groups, couple friends, that a new sense of a renewal in the relationship, a new identity in it, and new commitments to trying new things, looking at new ways, even in relationship. And again, so it's not just romantic. So if you're folks that are in a long-term romantic, this could be a deepening for you, getting down to a depth that you haven't been at in a while or haven't, achieved before. And if you're single, this could be, where you build relationships are where the relationships are. For instance, friendships and social circles. And as you deepen clients and things like that, as you deepen relationships, so is relationship there. And over the next 7 to 10 days, but very much so for you guys with this eclipse season just got opened up for you, and you could find pleasant surprises in your house of partnership, and maybe closing karma as well. And so that's what I see. And you can find me at bernicebissonpsychic.com. And I read full time here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. And I'm also an artist and a psychic. I do both of that work together. And I am releasing an oracle deck very shortly. I do have a little pop-up on my website that I have an art show coming. I'm doing the formal release. May 14th is my art show. I'm just going to, so save the date. I'll be sending out more formal invitations. And from that, I'll also be releasing my oracle deck, which will be for sale then. And it's 44-card oracle deck, all in my own personal reflection and transformation through my paintings over the last 2 years, and all the guided messages from me through them. And I feel very passionate about this deck, and I hope you'll enjoy it as much as I do. Now we have a Melissa from Kentucky. Hello, Melissa.
Hello.
So my name's Bernice. People call me B. I'd like to be of service to you over the next 10 or 11 minutes. How can I do that for you?
Oh, just whatever comes your way, I guess.
Okay, whatever. I love it. Let's do it. Okay, well, we'll work with your birthday for a little quick second. I do love astrology, and I do find it probably the most predictive. What's the day and month of your birthday?
May 28th.
May 28th. Let's explore May 28th for a minute. So this birthday coming, so if I'm going to talk about the few months leading up to your birthday and then the few months after your birthday, if I think of your timeline, May 28th. Leading up to your birthday, you might find between now and May 28th, an increased need to take care of details, paperwork, plans that will require brain work, concentration, finalizing. And even in the next 6 weeks, you could find yourself maybe running around a lot with that, going back over old things. It could feel like that 10-minute drive turns out to be a 20-minute drive because that road is blocked, the map wasn't working. So just be really mindful that you might feel a need to be in a hurry, and I don't want you to be in a hurry. I want you to be methodical and thoughtful and mindful, because I feel like you might have this hurry-scurry energy that could crop up around you, people needing this right away and having to be here right away and there right away. And I feel like I want you to set your own timeline in terms of how you respond, how quickly you respond. It's going to really require you to put in structures with people and your appointment schedule. Don't overbook it. Give yourself lots of time. Follow up with any sort of communications that could be coming at you or ones you sent out and didn't hear back from. You could find that there's a bit of this going on the next 6 weeks, even starting, I'm going to say the next couple of days. You might find that suddenly it's a hurry up and wait, and things get confused. And so I feel like your power is in slowing it down and making the list for the day. Don't overbook schedule, follow up with phone calls. So that might prevent a bit of confusion that could crop up the next little bit. Your birthday, just astrologically, is kind of a special one. And if I may, 528 together, if I add that all together, is 15. And 1 + 5 is 6. 6 is the whole point of where I was kind of going. 6 is your karma number. And in tarot cards, 6 is the Lovers. And so you're heading into a cycle with your birthday. With that cycle, you have the sun entering Gemini. You'll have a new moon. You'll have Jupiter, and you're going to have Uranus, the planet Uranus, and coming in around 0 degrees, and as it enters in around your birthday and going forward to the end of 2025, that Uranus is a bit of an unexpected element. And over the next 7 years, it's going to reconstruct the areas of communications, but very much around identity and trajectory. And so you have the power of the planets this next 18 months, very much so starting with your birthday, around really setting a new trajectory for yourself. Anything around communications, technology, logistics, vehicles, mobility, moves, but they would be relocations. They wouldn't, so there's bigger changes for you, and you are the coordinator of them. They may not be your move, but you could be the coordinator of it. You could wind up, and particularly because the six is like having to pull opposing sides together to create harmony. And you're going to be in a position where you're going to be pulling, people from here and people from there, and having to pull everybody together to get something going. And you could find that in every day, and you're going to feel busy, taxed, pulled in different directions. So it's going to be really good for you to really get hunkered down with a schedule or a routine, so that you don't feel over demanded. The other energy it's going to pull in, I do love the Lover's energy, because it does pull in social settings, romantic settings, friendships, senses of joy and play, and, time to enjoy some of the fun stuff in life. It doesn't have to all feel serious. I feel like your birthday and going into August, this period in Canada, it's our summer. And so if I say your birthday to August is a time of play for you, you're going to find that there's going to be lots of social events. There's going to be events where you're being invited out. You're going to, and that could even feel a bit overwhelming at times as well. Like, oh my gosh, everyone's getting married. All these commitments I have could come up for you as well, Gemini. I do think the one place that's going to be quite beneficial, quite fortunate for you, is going to be around resolving finances, resolving your money, banking, paperwork, your day-to-day income. You could get some pleasant surprises over this year, in fact, and your birthday going forward. The Lovers really brings in money, value, cash flow, day-to-day banking. You could take care of it for others, but also for yourself, and find that you have savings, small things getting paid off. You're getting ahead in the day-to-day financial management of things, and small lump sums of money. And it could be a return. It could be that you get small benefactors of cash flow, like a couple thousand here, a few hundred there, where there's something around your cash flow that seems to be a bit fun and unexpected, especially with both of these planets influencing that degree, and you going into a lover cycle, which is attracting. A lover cycle attracts. The 6 attracts in fertility, abundance, opportunities, sometimes to a point where you have to have strong boundaries so you don't get overwhelmed, overtaxed, committed, or that you could feel a need of every penny that comes in, you seem to be sending it out. Like as the money comes in, you could find that, oh, they have, this person needs it, that person needs it, this place needs it. And so this is going to really require you to guard your boundaries, be clear with where you say no and where you say yes with your time and energy, finances, because this energy that you're going to be going into is going to go, it's going to be a mix of social play, invitations, communications, and demands your presence, the care of people. You could be sorting out issues for other people in terms of their finance, their care, their health and wealth. You could be sorting it out and having to deal with the details of everything. And man, you know, sometimes Geminis don't want to get bogged down by all the details. They want to have time to play. They want to have time to still enjoy things. So the next 3 months going into your birthday and the 3 months after your birthday are going to be really critical in terms of how you manage your time, because I do think that there's benefits in terms of organizing finance, paperwork, documents, and all those communications. And then I do feel like you're also going to wind up being taxed with having to take care of all the details of things for people. And so if I just think about the next little while coming up for you, that's what I'm seeing. And I feel like the last piece is be careful not to bump into things, unexpected bruises, tripping over yourself, unexpected, like accidental kind of stuff. It's really just a reminder to slow down and be really mindful this next, even 3 weeks or so. Okay.
Okay. You cut out there for a little bit. I didn't hear you, but all of that makes sense.
You can go back. You can go back and listen to the recording. They'll be posting this shortly, and your whole reading, you can hear the whole thing here. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, my friend. You take care. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in to Psychic Tuesday. And I'm going to see everybody in 7 days. I'll be in Jamaica, so I'm going to try my best to show up to do my show. Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.
Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV and Lightning Television. Welcome.
Time for Understanding Spirit with Mary Shapano. Live from MaryVCircles.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio.
Or one of our websites,
askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is Understanding Spirit
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another week of Understanding Spirit. I'm your host, Mary. I hope you're all doing really well and you're having a great week. Not too long for the weekend. I'm a bit excited. We're going to jump into the 3-card pull for the collective. Now, keep in mind, this is a collective reading, and take the message as it resonates. If it doesn't resonate with you, just let it go. It might make sense on another day or whatever. So, just see how you go with it. Have a bit of fun with it. Okay. The first card for the collective, if that's what you've chosen, is this one. And I keep hearing with this card, like having the mudgy touch. And it does have mental clarity written on this card here. And I just feel like this is a time for you to be listening, to tune into your intuition, to be processing information. There could be somebody in your life that heavily influences you. And I feel like this person, you even potentially could have had a past life with, but be receptive and sort of like heed whatever advice that you get. If you feel like there's an injustice or anything around you, there could be some relief coming around that, or you may need to accept some truths about yourself or about somebody else. Okay, so just kind of take that message as it resonates. If you have picked card 2, this is the Ancestors card. This comes up, quite a bit, I feel, but always for a reason, because our ancestors are always around us, and our loved ones looking after us. Right, I'm getting like a very strong money vibe around this. So whether you have got a windfall, or you've come into some money, or there's money-making ideas kind of thing around you, bigger salaries being offered. I'm getting investing your money wisely. It's also like, don't hoard too much of your money. Be generous where you need to be, and just think that through. Also, if you're trying a new venture or a new investment or new opportunity, I'm getting, do your research, be cautious before you kind of like jump in with that one. The third card for the collective is the Animal Totes card. As soon as I held this card, I just saw the spirit of a lion and, the power of a lion coming in. I'm getting there's a lot of communication around this card. There could also be a job offer or a contract or good news coming through. Also social contacts I'm getting, and also I'm getting think with your head, not with your heart, and also releasing old habits. It's almost like uncluttering your mind, all right, and just thinking differently, clearing out the space in your head so you can think clearly, and and just be strong. I'm just hearing be strong like the lion as you move forward. Okay. I have my caller, Sarah. How are you, Sarah?
Good. How are you?
I'm very good. You have the same name as my guide.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
How can I help you today?
I was just kind of wondering, in terms of different relationships in my life, if there was anything that I should kind of experience closure on and move forward with everything, or if there's anyone trying to give me any message in that area.
Yeah, you definitely have somebody giving you messages in that area, because there is a gentleman that has been with me, and I wrote down the messages. So I'm going to give them to you because I feel that they will fall in line with the questions that you have around your relationships. Okay. The first thing, though, that I heard was a lot of jazz music. I heard the song When the Saints Go Marching In by Louis Armstrong, and it was the chorus part, like when the saints go marching in, yes, I want to be in that number, when the saints go marching in. So I don't know if this spirit like jazz. I kept saying the word New Orleans. Does that make any sense for you?
Not really.
Okay, that's all right. I'll give you the messages because that was just the song that came in. I did feel that you do have a lot of spirit helping you out at this time. All right, and I could say, like, there's a lot, not like one or two, like a lot standing behind you. All right, and I felt like, well, you know, like you need a lot of assistance at this time. Okay, now the messages that I heard was time to tell the truth about how you feel, sweetheart. The next one I got was it will make no difference if you lie, it won't help. So like that means not calling you like you're a liar, but saying like if you say, no, I'm okay, that's okay, it's not going to help you to be that way. Okay. And I also got life is passing you by. Come on, hurry up now. You know what you need to do. And then this mail said to me, which I actually loved, not even perfect is perfect. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that make sense for you? I actually love that.
Yeah. That does.
Yeah, and just getting kisses and you know that he's squeezing you tight, giving you hugs and that. Okay. Now regarding relationships, when I started, just before I started the show, I had a lot of anxiety. I had a lot of feeling like a lot of pressure on myself, like anxiety going through the roof. Like I felt nervous. So I don't know if you're feeling nervous about just ringing up or what's going to be said, or whether it's about these relationships that you're talking about. But you know, I'm still feeling like that. Does that make sense for you?
Yeah. And you mentioned that my spirit is a male figure.
There was a male that came through, yes.
Okay, that would make sense.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I am getting. I'm getting a feeling of being trapped. I'm feeling like a lot of things being like done to me, said about me, and I just feel really restricted. Like I can't move forward. I don't know how to move forward. And I'm also getting that you just want the truth about things. And I feel like, you know, and you've been pushing for that or kind of demanding that. And I feel like there are decisions around that you need to make, but you're not wanting to make those decisions. Does that make sense for you?
Yeah. I'm very indecisive, so absolutely.
Yeah, okay. I'm also getting that you hold on to people really tightly, like in a, not that you're possessive, but in that kind of sense, you know, that you don't like to let go of people or things that you value. You know, you like to sort of keep close to you. Does that make sense for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do have choices, Sarah, all right, and you do need to make these decisions for yourself, all right? You are going to feel a loss about whoever you let go of, all right? You do need to move away. You do need to be honest. you do need to have honesty from the people that are around you as well. Okay. You do need to move into like moving forward, moving into like calmer waters where you're not feeling this anxiety and feeling stressed in this way. I'm also getting you need to stand up for yourself. You need to create boundaries around these people that you're fighting, you know, to stand up for yourself, okay, to create boundaries with them, you know, because I see you determined, I see you being defensive. I do see that you can feel defeated where you want to surrender. Sometimes you surrender, sometimes you're defeated, but you need to sort of like walk away from those kinds of people. And I see all that, anything that is backstabbing, betrayals, bitching, all that kind of stuff. I see that all coming to an end. All right. There is a male figure that a lot of this is around as well. Does that make sense for you?
What was that last part?
There is a male figure that this is that is involved in all of this as well. Does that make sense for you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this like a partner for you?
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah. I'm getting anxious again now that I've brought that up with you, and it's not from me. It's from your end. The anxiety. Look, just I'm getting told if you need to walk away, you walk away. All right. Spirit are very clear on that. You do what you need to do. If you feel that the truths are not being said or like you can't trust them, then by all means make what decision that you need to make around that. Okay? Does that make sense for you, Sarah?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. And I'm also getting a pregnancy around all of this. So whether it's you're pregnant or somebody else is pregnant. Okay. So, yeah. So just have those conversations with your person. All right?
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Take care, Sarah. Good luck with everything.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
I will. You too. Thank you, everyone.
A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for Love Life with Katana Star. Katana Star. Live from katanastar.au.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is Love Life
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Katana stuff. How's everybody feeling? I've been an emotional train wreck, to be honest, with this new moon energy in Pisces. Everything feels really amplified for me, and I was quite emotional last night, and I had to do some grounding stuff to bring myself sort of back down. But you know what? This is all part of where the planets are at the moment, and I won't go into all of that, but you know, it's about just remembering your tools to help you breathe through it, because our emotions are heightened. But it's also a beautiful thing in the sense that our intuition's also really heightened too, with Pisces being one of the most emotional, intuitive signs of the zodiac. It's a perfect time to be tapping into your intuition, to be listening to that inner voice, to that, you know, doing that introspection time, and also, you know, beginning creative projects and things like that. So at the beginning of a new moon, it's also about manifesting and bringing things with some kind of emotional significance into fruition, you could say. Just doing a collective message from the tarot as we speak. But yeah, I'm feeling a lot more level now today than what I was last night. It was really emotional. But anyway, I guess we all go through that at some point, don't we? Especially when you're approaching 50 and menopause. Fun times. Yay. All right, here we go. This is the message from the tarot. For all those who are listening and watching. There. Go there. That one. A judgment. Wow, huge. This is beautiful. So applicable to what I was just saying. Judgment's all about, you know, if we had a soul reflection here on Earth, this would be it. Judgment is very much about you going back over all your life lessons, achievements, mistakes, things you regret, but things that you've also learned from. But it's about setting yourself free from past burdens that have held you back, whether that is things like regret or whether it's mistakes that you've made. Judgment is about remembering that no matter what you've done or what you've been through, there's always a way to embrace that into something positive, okay? And to forgive yourself, letting go of any form of self-doubts as well. You know, and that's another good thing, you know, that shadow work's beneficial for, and shadow work's about going within and confronting those self-sabotaging beliefs and insecurities that we all have to some degree, and letting go of that and to being able to face it so that we can utilise that to move forward. Hi, Linda. How are you? Hope all's well.
Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for taking my call.
Thank you so much for calling. What can I do for you this evening?
I just didn't know if you had just an overall reading, anyone from the other side who wanted to connect, or just like a general reading.
Sure, no worries. Well, we'll see what comes through for you, Linda. I have mentioned before to other callers that when I'm doing tarot readings, I sometimes get spirit messages come through, sometimes not. And it's not something I really have a whole lot of control over, to be honest. They kind of just pop up when they want to. And sometimes not even the person that you think it might be, or the spirit.
Mm-hmm, right.
We'll see what comes through. I'll do you a reading, picking up on your general energy, and whatever
is coming through for me. I'm actually getting a lot better now at opening up my third eye to communicate more without even looking at my cards. I've been practicing that. So we'll see what comes through for you, okay? Now, if there's no connection made with spirit, or loved one on the other side, I just had a flyer. The cards will pick up on the strongest energy around you, okay, Linda? All right.
Great.
So
Sounds wonderful.
All right. We've just had a few cards come out here. All right. Is your father, has he passed over?
He has, yes.
All right. I'm feeling the energy of your father here. And the reason I'm feeling the energy of Dad is because the Emperor was there. And straight away, without me even having to look at it, I kind of felt this fatherly energy. I'm picking up on a bit of regret. Linda, was there some conflict between you before he passed?
No. I mean, it's been some time. He's been gone over 10 years.
Yeah. The Five of Wands was there too, and there's that kind of fiery energy there that there was potential conflicts or disagreements that were going on, that he's now wanting to reach out to say to you that he sees it all in the bigger picture now, and all those petty little arguments that might have been going on, either between you or could have been with other family, actually. I'm just bringing some more cards out here. He's saying to let go of that, okay? So that was the main message I got through straight away, was that there was unresolved conflict, and he wants that resolved. Oh, look, here we go. There's a lot of fire here. I've got the King of Wands here. Now, this is awesome. This is Leo energy, very determined, passionate kind of energy here. There's someone who's also very strong with their values, and someone who's not afraid to sort of pursue or stand true to what they think is right and wrong. But it's also someone who is quite successful business-wise and having the courage to go after what they want. So that card just flew out, and I'm just unpacking this a little bit more to see there. There's the Sun. Beautiful. All right. So the strongest message I was getting from your dad is for have a chat with some family members, okay? Because if there was unresolved conflict there, Dad wants to know that it's all okay. All right. He's basking literally in the sun. I'm picking up this was conflict to do with another child. Do you have siblings?
I do, and that's probably what it is. It's probably with siblings. I think yeah.
That's what I'm getting. He's reaching out to say, oh, look, there's the Empress there too. There could be a pregnancy in the family as well, but I'll tap into that in a minute. Okay, the strongest energy from Dad is reaching out to either yourself or one of your siblings to acknowledge the conflict that happened. He's now healed. All right, he sees it all in introspection now, okay, very much still with you, but wants peace there, okay, to let them, whether that's an apology to forgive, whatever, it's all okay. All right, that's beautiful energy, the Sun. It's all about self-actualization and realizing and ascending to that next level and being able to see things from the bigger perspective too. Okay. Now, do you have a pregnancy in your family at the moment, Linda?
No, we do not.
The Empress is there, meaning that someone might be pregnant either now or very soon. Okay. She's not always pregnancy. She can represent the mother of the tarot as well, the divine feminine. So let me unpack this a little bit more and see what else comes through. Three of Wands in reverse. Here we go. And Hangman. I'm actually tapping back into your dad's energy here. All right. I think the Empress could represent your mother. Okay. Is she still with you or not?
No, she has passed as well.
Well, I'm not getting her energy in spirit, but what I am getting is Dad's energy tapping into Mum. And I think a lot of the conflict that went on that came out earlier, okay, was to do with one of your siblings having some resentment there towards something that happened with Mum, okay, and they're stuck from healing from that, okay, with the Hangman there. They're really struggling to move on from this and to forgive and to let go, and that's what Dad's coming through to try and say now, is that there's healing there, it's okay. Whatever conflict that there was in the past no longer matters on the other side. It's a little bit like that mediocre stuff, the day-to-day stuff that we get caught up in, that when we do cross over, we see it all for what it is. And, there's none of those petty human incentives there on the other side. And that's what he's really trying to say, because I do believe that this is either your mum, that's what I'm getting actually, or it's a pregnancy within the family that's possibly even early, but I don't think so. I think this is energy to do with your mum. Okay, so that's sort of the strongest energy I'm getting at the moment. I can unpack that a little bit more if you like, and feel free to ask a question if you want, Linda. If you have a question for me as well, because I've still got a couple of minutes left. So let's see what else comes out.
I guess just about my daughters, that my just in their future, and that all is well with relationships.
All right. Okay. All right. So with the Knight of Swords in reverse and the Hierophant there, I'm feeling that this is a very spiritual time for her at the moment. I am picking up that she's been significantly hurt. Even she's probably been the victim of abuse in a situation, whether that's verbal or physical, I'm not sure, because when the Knight of Swords is in reverse, he can be quite abusive, okay? And normally in a way that's, where he's not thinking rationally, he's just behaving, quite sporadically and spontaneously and selfishly. He may have left her in a position where she was financially vulnerable, okay? But at the same time, there's quite a really nice energy here, because she's starting to realise her power to set herself free from this situation. And I do see her very much consulting with either a spiritual mentor here, or she's really turning to her spiritual values, okay? Because that's the Hierophant there. And the Hierophant's always someone who can help us bring, by tuning into our spirituality, by embracing our spirituality, that's what helps us heal and to overcome these difficult times. So let them get herself free and forgive herself from these painful lessons that she's been through, because by doing so, that's where she's going to have victory, and she's going to be okay. She will be fine. That's the Six of Wands to say that she will get through this, and she'll be acknowledged for that, and there is joy and success there, okay? She will be okay, but she's got some healing to do, and she needs to forgive. Now, Linda, sorry I have to cut you short now, because I do have to get going. I've only got 30 seconds left. Thank you so much for the honour of letting me read you, and I hope that it's been helpful. Again, it's about forgiveness and letting go from past mistakes, but also embracing those to realise that they do make us whole and more enlightened. All right, thank you so much, everybody. I'm wishing you all a beautiful weekend, and unfortunately, I'll be an apology for next week, but I will be back the following week. So take care and bless be. Thanks.
To A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for Mystic B Spiritual Insights, hosted by Anna Marie. Live from mystic-b.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is Mystic B Spiritual Insight
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hi, everyone. My name is Anna Marie, and I'd like to welcome you to Mystic B Spiritual Insights. I hope everyone's doing well and that you're as excited to be here as I am. I know that our time is valuable and we don't get this back, so I'm just wanting you to know how appreciative I am that you've decided to tune in. My hope is that we can all collectively connect through some positive energy, keep our minds open, have a bit of grace for both callers, yourselves, and me. And we can work together to bring forward some positive messages, hopefully messages that are bringing some clarity, some meaning, some hope, and encouragement to all of you. And just remember, not everyone gets a live reading. So if you don't happen to receive one today, please don't be discouraged. You can always come back next week. You can book a one-on-one session through my Facebook page or my mystic-b.com website. You can also connect with one of the other talented psychics in the network. So before we kick off with readings, I wanted to share just a few thoughts about the universal energy for the month of March. In numerology, March is actually a 3-month, and we're in a 9-year in 2005. So March is really just a great time to focus on creativity, expression, self-promotion, and finding that extra sense of joy. It's opportunity for the artists or would-be artists to express themselves. It's also a reminder for us to lighten up and let our inner child play. But really focus on expression and amplifying your communication. So the 3 combined with the 9 energy of the universal year 2025 also suggests that this is a great time kind of to drop the pretense. That's the closing and wrapping up of issues in the 9 years. So I just want to encourage you to embrace your authenticity, be your true self, and just consider some of these thoughts as you move through the coming weeks. It's a great energy to embrace. It can bring a lot of joy and fun. Just remember 3 can also be a little bit scattered, so just make sure you know where you put your keys. I've also just kicked off a series on the basics of numerology on my Facebook page, so feel free to follow Mystic B Facebook, or you can also reach out again through my website. Now, I know the reason that you're all here, you love these readings. Some of you know that I also meditate before the show, so I occasionally receive some very specific messages. Tonight, I have just a couple of brief meetings to share, and then we're going to jump into one of our callers. If by chance you think one of these messages is not intended for you, but it's intended for someone else, please, as always, use your intuition in deciding whether or not to pass that along. And if it's something that resonates with you, feel free to reach out to me directly and let me know. I always love that feedback. But just know our messages are really meant for us in perfect time. So if you don't get a one-on-one message, just open your mind a bit, listen to some of the other messages that are being shared, and perhaps there's something specific that you were meant to hear. Okay, so first message, I had the names Bradley and Brandon, and someone needs to know that they are together. And I also get the Luke Combs song, Where Wild Things Are. Now, I need to pause for just a second. People, my regular clients and closest friends know that I am a deep empath, so sometimes I can get emotional, and I just feel that there's just something extra special about this Brandon Bradley combination. So I want to encourage that message to get through. If for some reason the recipient isn't watching or doesn't listen to the podcast this evening, please stay open-minded in passing that along. Rochelle also needs to know that you have a painting that you need to complete. I also have just a final brief message. Someone is trying to travel to Tennessee for a performance. You will have the method and the means to travel, and all will be well. Okay, so I think we are going to bring in Linda from Jersey City, New Jersey. Linda, do I have you?
Hi, yes.
Hi, Linda. How are you this evening?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Now, I like to ask, and we've got lots of fun dogs. I've got a couple of my own.
Yes, that's one.
That's okay. I just want to ask if you have a specific topic or question that you'd like to cover, or would you like just a general reading with the few minutes that we have?
Yeah, it's just a general reading.
Okay. I'm just trying to see what kind of energy I'm getting initially. I feel like there may be some things in your environment that are a little topsy-turvy, might be driving some emotions, kind of high-low recently. You've been going through a lot of changes?
Yes.
Okay. I do feel the emotional, I'm just going to call it a roller coaster. It feels like things are kind of out of control, in control, out of control, but it does feel it, even though I feel like your environment has a lot in it and you're very busy and there's probably a sense of overwhelm, I do feel like your emotions may be amplifying them. So I don't know if they're quite aligned. Do you feel like maybe there's some moments that you might be overreacting to some of these events?
Sometimes, yes.
Okay. And it's okay. I mean, this is just life, right? We don't always know what we're getting ourselves into. But so just know, even though your feelings are real, our thoughts sometimes take hold and they go to places that maybe are not as grounded as they should be. I do feel lots of activity. It feels like you just are overwhelmed with things to do, commitments. I don't know if there's also some travel involved here, but it just feels like it's a lot that you're working with. So I don't blame you at all for being overwhelmed. It feels like it's a mixture, like some's business and some's personal. Is it a combination of the two? Linda, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm here.
That's okay. Is it a combination of both business and personal things that are overwhelming you?
No, I would say basically personal.
Okay, just more personal. Okay. Because I feel like the activity, right? I feel the busyness is both. Maybe the emotional stuff is personal, but I feel like there's work or business activities that are also occupying a lot of your time. And the reason why I'm focusing a little bit on the business is I feel like that's an area that you're doing well, even though it might be a little bit overwhelming. I feel like that's an area of success for you. I feel like the emotional stuff, it feels like it has to do with a male figure. It feels fatherly to me. And so the energy is either it's like a father figure or it's someone that is that's a little bit more demeaning or speaks to you like they're your father. Does that make sense?
No, not really. No.
Okay. That's okay. Don't make it. I mean, it doesn't have to, it doesn't have to fit. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I'll just say this. I definitely get a father figure energy where maybe the communication and I'm just going to say the communication and the interaction could improve. Do you have a male energy in your life that maybe you're at odds with or you have some challenges with?
No, I don't have no, I don't.
Okay.
Not at this time.
Okay. So no father, no husband, no brother, no boss that's male?
No.
Okay.
No,
okay. That's all right. That's all right. Well, it's what I get. So hopefully, I mean, the good news is if you don't have any of that, that's a positive. I do feel like there's some positive changes coming just a little bit closer to June, as though, I don't know if you have a birthday in June or if there's some other celebration, or not in June, but in the summer, but I feel like there's some sort of celebration or time of celebration that's building up for the summer months. So whatever the emotional stuff is that you're going through right now, I just want you to stay encouraged. It feels like finances improve. The activity that I'm sensing seems to settle down, and it turns out successfully. Does this resonate with you at all?
Yes.
Okay. I also just want to say, kind of as you are moving through, I want to say in particular, like the next 2 to 4 weeks, I think just be very mindful with where you're spending your money, the company that you're keeping, the time and energy, because I think that's part of it, is that you're kind of spread too thin, and you just need to start just cutting off some of the extra activity that's really not supporting your goals. So just be mindful about the company that you keep. You know, I know you're watching money and things like that. It will improve. But your time is really valuable, which is why I'm so humbled that you're sharing this with me. But it will improve. It's just be more mindful over the next, 2 to 4 weeks, especially on the money and who you're spending time with, because whether it's masculine energy that you're recognizing on this call or not, I do feel the masculine energy around you is a downer. And I think it's adding to some of these complexities and some of the frustrations that you might be feeling. Does any of this make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Are you looking forward to a trip? Is there a trip coming up?
No trip that I know of. I don't know.
Okay. I do feel, if you haven't thought about a trip, I want to encourage you that as this money sort of resolves itself, because I do feel like there's some celebratory thing closer to June. I just want you to start thinking about that, because I feel like you've been dealing with so much for so long. I think you need some reprieve, that you can do some, just nurturing of yourself and really just kind of relaxing a bit. Hopefully that sounds appealing.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. So if I'm not connecting properly on the masculine energy, and you're talking about just some of those other things that are emotional to you, is there a particular topic that you want to dive into that's that you think is driving the emotional things, or have we brought a couple things to light?
Well, actually, I was just wondering, because I'm going through an issue right now with my house and with my cousin.
Okay. Is your cousin a man, or
a really big problem?
Is your cousin a man or a woman?
Woman.
Woman. Okay. I think the house to me is the financial stuff that I'm bringing up. I will also say that I think you have an opportunity to refinance or reconsider some financial arrangements, if that makes sense. So make sure that you're making those calls and trying to get some of those options on the table. As far as your cousin, I feel like energetically, I think she's going through her own stuff, and she may be kind of projecting a little bit. But has she had a passing of a mother or a grandmother this past year? I feel like there's someone that's
this year, no.
Okay, I feel like there's someone
not that I know of.
Okay, I feel like there's someone that's passed away in her immediate environment over this past year. And some of these things I think she's not quite healed from. So my advice, again, goes back to just be very mindful of the company that you keep. So if you're having issues with your cousin, I would say, just give it some breathing room. But, try to just understand that I think that there's some emotions that you might be expressing that are probably a little bit over the top in comparison to the circumstances. So just take a few extra deep breaths before you decide to speak and interact with her, so you're coming from the right perspective.
Okay.
Okay?
sounds good.
Okay, I'm going to wish you the best, and I hope you think about that trip in the coming months. And I really do. Stay encouraged about the financial issues, but just you got to do a little bit of work to expose those opportunities. But I believe it's going to work out.
Thank you so much.
Okay, take care. So it looks like we have Stacy in Collingwood, Ontario, Canada. Stacy, are you with me?
I am.
Hi, Stacy. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Good. Are you staying warm?
I am.
Oh, good. Good. Well, how can I help you this evening? Would you like a general reading, or is there a particular topic that you'd like to explore?
Whatever messages the universe has for me.
Okay. I think just the first impressions I'm getting, I do feel like there's some, how do I want to say, some questions about a relationship with a male. It feels like there's been sort of a recent, I'm going to call it a betrayal or a lack of trust or something that has really hurt your feelings. And you're not quite sure whether you should continue interacting, engaging, or if you should just sort of be silent or turn away from this. Does this make sense for you?
Yep.
Okay. So here's what I'm getting. I'm not getting a marriage. And sometimes the reason why I'm not getting a marriage is when people are in a relationship and they're just not acting like they're married. Either they've been together for a really long time and they've sort of become like siblings or friends. But I'm not getting like a deep marriage or commitment where there's full-blown romantic interaction. So this relationship feels a little different for me, but I feel like you're literally thinking about leaving. And if you choose to do that, just know whatever your decision may be, I see happiness no matter what path you take. And that feels like it relates a lot to just who you are, Stacy. I feel like you are just determined to live a good life. I think you know your value and your worth, and you're just simply not willing to tolerate certain behavior. Does this make sense for you?
Yes, completely.
Okay, good. So similar to kind of some of the comments that I was making on the last call, this is really because you're so aware of what you have to offer. I see you sort of cutting your losses and just trying to learn from the lessons of what's taken place and start anew. I feel like spring is going to be a really great time for you. I know that there's some disappointment and some heartache. And so I don't know that you're going to jump into trying to rekindle or find new love immediately. But I feel like you have a vision and optimism for the future. And I feel like you're going to start building some momentum in the next couple of months. And I think things are really going to turn around for you. But I feel, I want to say I'm sorry that you've gone through this, because I feel like whatever this betrayal has been, it really wasn't deserved. And I'm sorry that it's hurt you. But someone recognizes, what you're going through and the energy that you are building towards in those new beginnings. I think you will be surprised at how much happiness you find, and that you will be someone else's first priority. Does this make sense for you?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Totally.
Okay. You're really strong though. I mean, you know that you're a strong personality and you're going to be just fine, right?
Yeah, I'm just giving love to everyone else. I'm waiting for my Prince Charming.
It's tiring, right? But just, I feel like, I don't want to say you've been down this road before, but I know you've been down this road before. But I think you're getting better at identifying who works for you and who doesn't, right? What the right fit is. But I want you to really think about your value system as you go forward. Just take this time, as you're transitioning, take this time really to think about what's most important for you, not the white horse and all of that, but really just, is it love? Is it respect? Is it affection? Is it humor? I mean, what are those qualities? But also, what does it look like day to day to be with someone like that? And I think that you will start kind of getting back into that positive visualization and feel some more enthusiasm. And I think it will help with some of the, just some of the memories and challenges I think that you've gone through, but you're going to be fine. And there's love to be had. But I think just take these 2 or 3 months and really get things in order. Because I think when he shows up, I think he's going to blow you away. I think he's really going to catch you by surprise. I don't think you're going to see it coming. And I'm not sure if you're going to have your wits about you, so to speak. So get your house in order, stay encouraged, and, just don't be hard on yourself. This wasn't your doing, just, it's more about a defect in that person. Does that make sense for you?
That makes sense.
And by the way, if you want a hint on your next Prince Charming, I think he's in finance. He feels like a banker or someone that works in finance. Do you work in that industry?
Nope.
Okay. So whatever it is, I feel like he's secure, feels smart. I mean, he may not have, the B billionaire in front of his name, but I think he's stable, and he might be a little boring for your liking, but I think you'll learn that it's not boring. It's actually normal and peaceful, no low drama. But I think when he shows up, I think you're not going to see it coming, and it will be a pleasant surprise.
Well, I look forward to it.
Yeah. Any other final thoughts or questions that I can answer?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, I hope this gives you some hope and encouragement. Again, I'm sorry for what you're going through. I've had people betray me as well, and it's not always easy to get over, but you will. You'll be fine. Just think about the coming months and be prepared for the next arrival of someone who deserves your time and attention.
Thank you so very much.
All right. Take care, Stacy.
You too.
So as you can see, we all have relationships, right? We have romantic relationships. We have our friends, our family. Sometimes it's a cousin. Sometimes it's an unrequited love. Sometimes it's our parents. It's our children. But, just remember this. Everyone is unique. We all have free will. We all have our unique contributions that we're making to this world. Life isn't always easy, but it doesn't mean that we want to give up. So sometimes we just need moments to lean on one another. We need to be gracious with one another, but we also have some personal responsibility that we want to pull back and think, are we overreacting? Are we making assumptions? Are we projecting things? Are we going through something and taking it out on other people? So even though these special moments, right, when you reach out and you trust people like me to try to give you some insights, just know that you're really the one that's, driving this train. You're the one who gets to decide where you're going to spend your time, where you're going to spend your money, who is worthy of your secrets, your emotion, your vulnerability. But as we kind of reflect again on the month of March, I just want to encourage everyone to just think about letting go of some of the old stories that you tell yourself. Think about who you really are. What is true to you? What is it that you believe? What do you think your authentic self sees for your future? And maybe what is it that people really don't know about you? Is this an opportunity for you to express yourself a little bit further? Is there a special talent? Are you a writer? Are you a poet? Are you an artist? Is there something that you can share with the world that has yet to be revealed? Or is this a time that you want to create something like a family? You know, maybe this is time for you to think about growing your family. And if you aren't interested in expanding a family, you know, maybe it's just about finding some other joy. Maybe there's something else that you've done in your youth that you abandoned, that's a special talent or a special love that you should think about resurrecting. But most of all, just honor yourself. And along the way, just be gracious with others. None of us are perfect. We are all going through this life trying to find our way. We want to be loved. We want to feel special. And it takes one another, right, to appreciate and see who we are. So that's at work. It's our home. It's our families. It's in our neighborhoods. So identify your true self, your authentic self. Take the coming weeks to express who you are. Let the world know how amazing you are. But also don't forget to talk kindly to yourself and talk kindly to others. Let them know how much you love and appreciate them. And just know that I so much appreciate your time with me each week. If you have messages that you would like to pass along to others, please use your intuition and do that. If you have other thoughts or ideas that you'd like to communicate to me on how I can better improve our time together, please let me know. You can also, again, follow along with my Facebook page. We're diving into numerology in the coming weeks. You can also connect on my website in order to book a one-on-one session, or if you want to order a custom numerology report. But just know how much I value you. And I know that your time is short, and I really appreciate you sharing it with me. So I look forward to sharing some more space with you again next week. Please reach out and just take good care. I'm sending you lots of love and light, and happy March.
listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV and Lightning Television. Welcome.
Time for astrology and psychic readings with Lady D. Lady D. Live from Lady D's PsychicParties.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio.
Or one of our websites,
AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv.
This is astrology and psychic reading
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hi everybody, welcome to Astrology and Psychic Readings with Lady D. I'm your host, Lady D, for this segment. I hope you've all had an amazing week. Well, March, I said that March wouldn't disappoint, and it's not disappointing yet with all the stuff that's been happening already in the first week of March. This week coming up, the transits, we still have some transits that are happening, but I feel like it's all going to start happening the week after, because the week after we're going to have the eclipse, and then we're going to have Mercury retrograde. We've got a lot of other transits coming up, so I think this week it's not as much as what it has been happening, but it's still going to be intense. So we do have on the 8th, we do have the Sun going to be trying Mars. That's actually quite positive, that transit. That's going to help you feel more confident with that transit, and more, I feel like also for some reasons about embracing change too. We've also got coming up on the 8th, we got Pluto, or till the 8th, Mercury is going to be sextile to Pluto. So it's going to be a positive change in communication. It might be, you might hear of something ending or transforming into something else, but it'll be a positive aspect. And we've also, so 12th will be a big day. On the 12th, we have the Venus retrograde will be conjunct Mercury in Aries. So on that day, you might find that you have very strong opinions and strong thoughts, and it could be about financial matters, or it could be about certain relationships that you're having with people. You might hear from someone from the past that day. It might be about vocalizing how you feel to someone that you in a relationship, or anyone that you have, like a loved one that you have around you. And I feel like on that day too, little things might bug you or sort of tick you off a little bit. We've also got the Sun, which is going to be conjuncting Saturn on that day too, which is going to create a little bit of problems. So it is going to be a little bit of an intense day, I feel, that day, the 12th. On the 10th and throughout the week from the 10th, we do have Mars, which is going to be in square to Chiron. That's going to be bringing up sort of old wounds or wounds that you haven't really healed from yet. I feel like there's going to be intentions that are going to be quite clear from people too. What I've also got coming up for this week ahead, I do feel like it's about being cautious. So I feel like it's about thinking before you speak, thinking before you act. When I was seeing that it was like a busy road and you had to make sure the road was clear. So I feel like it's just about being cautious and being prepared this week. I feel like that it's also be very particular how you deliver news to people. I feel like some communication is going to get a little bit hectic, and it may be that with something you're going to tell someone could be a little bit sensitive. So I just feel like this week especially, it's about thinking before you speak or how you deliver the message. I do feel like it's still going to be quite hectic. Dealing with a lot of egos are kept on, and I feel like with some of the aspects that we've got here, it is going to be looking at egos. There'll be a lot of egos coming around or dealing with this week. I also feel like it's going to be an emotional week where people might be a little bit triggered as well. That's coming up. And even I found really interesting with the certain topics that are coming up. And it's it's a very split in a collective. And it's people are either dead against one way or they're against the other way. And I feel like it's quite interesting. I do feel like that's part of the Pluto in Aquarius, mixing with all the other transits that we got coming up or what we're going through at the moment. We are sort of one by one, the planets are coming into Aries this month. So we are dealing with a lot of Aries and Pisces energy. So we are dealing, to me, it's like Aries is the strongest star sign to Aries is the weakest more, and it's got more empathy for people. So I do feel like that we can feel that kind of that's split in the collective where people stand on certain topics and certain issues, which I also feel like is I always find astrology very interesting and very fascinating when we look at the charts, and I can see why things are happening for that person, or just in the collective of why there's just been a big shift that there has been this week. And people are quite passionate about their beliefs, and I feel like that's part of this Aries, this Mercury in Aries. People are being quite vocal, and they show this passion about very strong opinions about what they have. That's why I feel like on the 12th, it is going to be quite an intense day, because this energy is going to affect a lot of people. So people that you might feel like, might hold back, might actually speak up. And especially if these energies are happening in your chart over your sun, or over if you've got a planet in Aries and they go over that planet, it will impact you more than other people too. I also feel like this week people are going to want change, but they have no clue on how to go about it, or even how to bring in change. There will be a mixed emotions, and tensions will be also running high this week. And also there's going to be an aspect where people are over diplomatic too coming up. So let's go to the caller. So we've got Christine, who's in Hawaii. So hi Christine, how are you today?
Aloha, Danielle. Good, thank you.
So how can I help you today?
So I wasn't listening, so I don't know what kind of readings you give. I have been trying to figure out health challenges, trying to get to the root cause. And also a relationship. I'd love one of those.
Okay. All right. So there we go. So I'm not a doctor. I always got to disclose there that I'm not a doctor, but I can see what I do pick up now. So let me just see here. Okay. So. I mean, I do feel like you're quite busy, but I also feel like I get things around like my neck, my throat is burning up. And I feel like that. I also feel like it's really hot around my neck and top area of like sort of up just around the shoulders, but I definitely get like a burning around my neck for some reason. So I don't know if this is a throat thing or communication, or if you're just feeling quiet, if you get like feeling hot. I also feel like that there's like a bubble, like I see a stomach, and I see like churning of the stomach, or like if you get like reflex, or like you feel like just like a burning or bubbly. It's like I see bubbles in the stomach. So to me, it's like the stomach is a bit unsettled. I also feel like there's a sense of being tired and losing time here. It's like, I don't know if you get really tired and you don't realize that you've lost some time, or you're losing time. I don't know.
Very tired.
Okay.
It's autoimmune, and the autoimmune is shows up in my neck as red, in my chest, like red spots, and my shoulders and neck are always very tense, and I have reflux from it too. So, but I was wondering if I can get some answers, like to the root cause, or a past life, or like something that could help me see like what to do with it, or where to go next.
Okay. For some reason, I'm getting I don't know why, but I'm seeing garlic. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know if garlic can.
I'm allergic to garlic, so I can't do that.
Oh, okay. Okay. So that might have been why. Okay, I've seen it. I was like, I just saw this garlic.
Not to fix it. Like I'm kind of looking like for a root cause, like something emotional, physical, past life. I don't know. I'm kind of looking for some answers, maybe like that.
What you're looking for, and I do believe it helps you a lot. It's something that even I use, kinesiology. Kinesiology is very good. If you can find a good kinesiologist, they are very good at finding the root cause of things, or the body sort of tells them what's wrong and what's happening, and that would be really good. I feel this is going to be for what I see for you. I feel like that there's there might be more things that you're allergic to. Because I actually see like allergy tests that they're testing things on your arm. So I do feel like an allergy test, there might be more things that you're allergic to than what you know. But I also feel like it's like a process of elimination as well. And I feel like even like certain, I don't know if it's to do with the perfumes or like the detergents or like washing things, I feel like you're quite sensitive to chemicals and things that you're using. So I feel like that this is going to be a complete like elimination, big haul of things that you're doing. But this, I feel like it's a journey you're going to be on, and I feel like at least I get 1 to 2 years, months. I kind of feel like this is going to be burning out, but you're trying to find the right person that can help you. I do feel like as I said, kinesiologist or even an iridologist would be able to help you with what's wrong. I feel like that you're not getting answers from certain doctors that you're going to, like they have no answers, and I feel like
they have nothing. They have absolutely nothing. Yeah, so that's why I was looking for a metaphysical cause. Yeah.
But you'll find that through certain health professions that I'm not able to do right now for you. But muscle testing is an excellent source to do that. But I just feel like you're going to have to. I also get bladder too with you as well. I feel like upset bladder, so you might even have to look at like stuff with the bladder as well. I know bladder is when you get angry.
Right. You touch off, yeah.
In terms of relationships with you, so I'll just do a quick relationship reading for you. Let's have a look. I feel like we're going around in circles. I feel like it's time for you, like someone needs to make a decision here and to follow through with it. So I do feel like there's a thing of going around in circles, and like it's about not finding the right time, chasing your tail. I don't know if it's you're the one going around in circles. So I do see someone around you and they're not. So they're standing right there. I see someone who's tall. Yeah, I see someone who's tall. He's got short hair. I feel like he's like not blonde, but the sort of that light brown, blondish hair, but it's very like neat and tidy. I do feel like he's wearing shorts, white shirt, joggers. He's very active. I feel like he has like athletic build, and I feel like he wants to help. He wants to show you the way. This man likes partnerships that are equal, and I feel like that he's putting his hand out to help you. And I also feel like he's a gentleman as well. I feel like there could be a meeting of hearing May, so May, June, July. I feel like there could be some romantic connection, or there's also an intense connection coming up. I feel like around that area, but I feel like you're gonna I think by spring, I always get confused because my spring and your spring are too different. But I just feel like that there's a renewedness here of energy, and I feel like you are going to take this man's hand, and there's some sort of relationship that's going to come of this. So that's what I get quickly for you. But I hope you have a good day.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
That's okay, no worries. So if you want to contact me, you can. And if you're in Queensland or south of the border of New South Wales and Queensland, stay safe with that hurricane coming. So if you want to contact me, you can. My website is Lady D Psychic Parties. My Facebook is also Lady D Psychic Parties. My Instagram is Lady DS Psychic, and my TikTok is Lady D Psychic, or Lady DS Psychic, and my YouTube is Lady D. I hope you all have an amazing week, and I'll see you same time, same place next week. So bye for now.
Thank you.